Okay, we should be live. We should be live. Just a quick one, really. I'm not going to be on for too long, I don't imagine. But there's some fights this weekend. There are some fights this weekend. Leewood versus Maurizio Lara 2. Interesting fight. Fucking some guy going past with like some loud ass motorbike. But yeah, Lara versus Wood 2. Really interesting fight. It's going to be fun. That much is for certain. I've got Lara repeating what he did first time around. I believe Leewood will be competitive out of that boxer puncher style. But, Lara only needs one. It's a quick turnaround. I was saying this in my preview video. They fought first in February. I think it was the 18th of February this year. Leewood got stopped, obviously, got badly hurt, got stopped. 3 months later, basically, they're having a rematch. That is almost unheard of. Somebody getting stopped and then they rematch 3 months later. I think that could be a big factor in this fight. I really do. Psychologically and physically, but mainly psychologically. I think it'll be a good fight again. But I've got Lara repeating the knockout. We also have Bernardo Lopez versus Michael Conlan. I think that's a hard fight to call. Conlan is the taller, longer man. Southpaw, well, he's a switch hitter, likes to keep it at range, bit of a sharp shooter. He can mix things up and go to the body, but he's not a big puncher. Bernardo Lopez is an awkward pressure guy who throws crazy punches at crazy angles, leads with hooks, uppercuts, etc. Good up close, good body puncher. I've got a feeling that Michael Conlan is going to start really well, maybe be ahead after 4 or 5 rounds, and then I can see him slowing down, potentially getting stopped late. That fight's hard to call, in my opinion. That fight's hard to call. I've got Lopez, though. Lopez on points or late stoppage. What's up, Brandon? How you doing? Andrew, big up to Andrew. Reese Cooper, saludos. Big up to Jiho Park. Big up. Salute Del. It's a shame since I've grown fond of Wood lately, but I think it will be a repeat too. I agree. What's up? Focus on creativity. Yeah, man. It's crazy. Like he got stopped at on the 18th of February, and they're rematching on the 27th of May. That's crazy. That's a crazy turnaround. I've got Lara doing it again. I just think Lara, when you've been stopped like that and you come back that quickly, I mean, it's a lot to come back from. I credit Leewood for taking it so soon, but I've got Lara doing it again. Leewood is going to have success, but Lara's going to catch up to him eventually and get him out of there. It's going to be a good fight, though. It's going to be a good fight. I've got a lot of respect for Leewood and Lara, so credit to both guys, man. It's going to be a good fight. You guys know I've been riding for Lara for a while. What's up, Pimp My Sniper? Yeah, it's a good weekend of boxing here in the UK. Some good fights. He's got Wood getting his belts back, stopping him late or a points win. Interesting. I mean, it's not out of the realms of possibility. Leewood was having success first time around. I never scored it when I watched it, bro. To me, it looked like a close fight, but I watched it on like 4 hours sleep. I woke up and kind of caught it, then I went back to sleep. I still need to rewatch it to score it properly, but I really enjoyed the fight. It's a shit fight, man. That's a shit fight. Yeah, Tyson Fury versus Dempsey McKean. If that happens, that's a fucking joke. Absolute joke. Conlan is great. He trains with a bunch of Mexicans, but he doesn't fight enough. Yeah, I think that's the case though with a lot of fighters now. They're just not active enough. That's why I'm kind of taking Lopez, man. I'm taking Lopez in this fight. It's a hard one to call, though. I'm so hyped about Lara Wood too. Same, man. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a really good fight. Indeed, yeah. Luis Alberto Lopez is very erratic in the way he fights. Yeah, he leads with power shots. He comes in at crazy angles. He's got weird ass combinations. He's hard to read. I mean, he doesn't know what he's going to do next, let alone his opponents. And when you're fighting a boxer like Conlan, that may offset him. And I worry that Conlan is going to fade down the stretch like he did against Lee Wood. And Lee Wood isn't a pressure fighter. Lee Wood is a boxer puncher. And Conlan faded in that fight. Lopez is much more of a pressure fighter than Lee Wood. So I can see Conlan fading late in that fight. I know Lopez faded against Warrington in the last sort of 3 rounds. I get it. But Warrington makes you work hard, number one. And number two, he was fouling in that fight all night. So I'm not sure whether Conlan can make Lopez gas as Warrington did. It's a good fight, though. If Wood wins, is it an upset? A minor upset. I wouldn't call it like a huge seismic shock, but it's an upset to some degree. 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. Fair play, Eddie. Eddie loves Sky Nicholson. Don't blame him. Yeah, matter of time. Yeah, I think the same's going to happen again. Round 7 to 9, Maurizio Lara by knockout. It was a good fight, wasn't it? It was a good fight. As I said, I need to go back and score that fight. When I watched it live, I had the feeling that it was going to be a draw, to be honest with you. That was my initial feeling. But I need to go back and watch it. I need to go back and watch it, score it round by round. Yeah, exactly, Edmund. Yeah, Fury fans will give him a pass. Yeah, exactly. They like being on the winning team. Yeah, even if it means he's fighting like a heavyweight who is like ranked 56 in the world. They don't care about that. What are the X factors for each fighter in Crawford versus Spence? Good question. I think Terence Crawford has the more wiry, snappy punching power. I think he can do more damage with one shot in comparison to Errol Spence. Plus, Terence Crawford is a switch hitter, can mix things up, whereas Errol is more one-paced and he has one approach. But Errol he's very well put together. He's got good balance. He's very consistent in his approach and what he does. And I don't think Errol Spence Jr. is a fighter who will be easily discouraged, even if he starts that fight badly. But ultimately, Crawford, in my opinion, has more X factors to his style. I'd rather Spence win. I prefer his style. I like that kind of I like that sort of pressure style, the tight guard, the jab, the body work. I like Spence's style better, but I think Crawford may have the edge. Not really, bro. I'm not expecting a good fight. I mean, if I get a good fight out of Okoli, I'm going to count it as a bonus. I'm not expecting anything from that fight. I'm not going to watch it live, and I won't watch it at all if it's not good. If I hear it's good, I'll go back and watch it. Yeah, I'll go back and watch it. See, this is the problem, LT. If Lee Wood wins, they won't. That's the issue. If Lee Wood wins, they won't. Lee Wood will fight Josh Warrington. That's the issue. But yeah, I agree. I mean, if Lee Wood wins, then it should be a third fight. If you're going to have these random ass rematches after a guy gets knocked out, if he then gets it back, have a third fight, make it fair. Exactly. Yeah, Warrington was headbutting all night. Yo, what's up? Mike? How you doing? No, I've not scored it yet, bro. I held off on calling it a robbery because, as I said, when I watched it, I had like 4 hours sleep. So I went to bed. I wasn't going to watch the fight. I was going to watch it the next day, on a recording, whatever. But I woke up randomly, literally as the fight was starting. I checked my phone and I saw that the fight was about to start. So I found a stream. I watched it. Then I went right back to bed. That's a good question. Do I give Wood a better chance of winning than you give Joyce if he were to rematch Zhang? That's a very good question. I mean, I think both guys can win, no doubt. I'd probably still give Joyce a better chance, maybe. Yeah, Lara Lara is like Thanos, inevitable. Yeah, you just feel like he's going to land that shot on Lee Wood, the tall, lanky boxer puncher, chin in the air. You just see him landing that left hook again at some point when Lee Wood kind of squares his feet up, and Lara then explodes into that left hook. You can see it happening again. It's a good fight though, man. You sound very similar to my mate Disturbed Reality. What's up, G man? How you doing? What's up, JD? I was reviewing the cards for the weekend. Frank's card is the best, at least for the undercard. No female fights can be okay on. Oh yeah, okay. I didn't even know Frank. Oh yes, the Conlan card. Yeah, of course, it's a Warren card, isn't it? I forget that. Yeah, that card is better than the Matchroom card. The Conlan versus Lopez card is better. Bro, you know my opinions on female boxing. I'm not going to repeat it again. You know, you guys know I don't like it. I'll never like it. I'll never start covering it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just not my. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. Never will be. Never will be. But you know, they'll be insistent on keep on showing it and this, that, and the other. I don't really care. I'm not interested. I'd lean towards Crawford right now. If you asked me in 2018, 2019, I was leaning towards Spence, but right now, I've got to lean towards Crawford, considering what Spencer's done outside the ring, the inactivity. I know Crawford hasn't been active, but he's not been getting himself in automobile wrecks and getting pissed up and whatnot. So you've got to favour Terence Crawford, I think. Yeah, so much BS around these rematch clauses, man. Yeah, even now with mandatories, basically the champion gets two cracks at the opponents. If Wood wins, he won't dance a third time. Exactly. Exactly. That's my problem with a lot of these rematches because even if that guy gets it back, he's not proven that he's the better guy when it's one on one. But that's boxing for you. That's boxing. Well, at least you're doing exercise, man. At least it got you exercising, focus. At least it got you exercising. There's one positive. I've been quite active recently as well, man. I'm trying to keep it up. I aim on. I'm going to sign up to a new gym in my area, a boxing gym, probably next week. So there's that as well. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Yeah, exactly. Big facts, G man. Big facts. Again, I didn't care about that fight either. I saw so many people who say, "Oh, I hate female boxing," cover it. Bro, man, I'm telling you, man. A lot of these guys are suspect out here. I'll just never enjoy it. I'll just know I'll never enjoy it. Hashtag misogynistic. Hashtag problematic. Hashtag insert whatever. Yeah, exactly, G man. Yeah, you're probably right. I think Vitali's a bad style matchup for Mike Tyson personally. I think Vitali's a bad style matchup. He's got a great chin. He's very tough, good output, quick on his feet. I mean, I just don't see Tyson knocking out Vitali. And if he can't knock out Vitali, the second half of that fight is going to be very tough for Mike Tyson. Very tough. I think Mike Tyson may be ahead after like the first 5 or 6 rounds. but he'll flag, in my opinion, and get stopped late. Yeah, facts, G-man. The arena where Conlan is fighting is where I had my first job, no joke. My first shift was the night Khan got starched by Prescott. Jesus Christ. 08, 2008. Fucking hell. I can't think of a more pointless pro career than Fraser Clark right now. Do Sky even see a future for him? I don't think they do, bro. I think that's why they never went for that fight with Fabio Wardley, because if they had any faith in him, you'd imagine they'd have backed him in that fight. You'd have thought they would have backed him because, listen, Fraser Clark's got all of his amateur pedigree against a guy in Fabio Wardley who's had no amateur fights, like 3 white collar fights before turning pro. You would expect like a world class Olympian, a world class amateur turning pro to take care of that guy, but obviously they have no faith in him. And listen, he's not exactly like charismatic. He's not got the funnest style around. I think they should have took the fight because if he wins, it's the biggest fight of his career. He gets buzz from that, and it's a building block. But who gives a fuck about Fraser Clark versus Marius Vac? Him labouring through 10 rounds against Vac. Because I doubt he'll stop Marius Vac. I doubt it. Even now, like a shot Marius Vac, I doubt he stops him. So it's like, he's uninspiring. Fraser Clark. I like him as a person, though. He seems like a nice guy, but bro, like his career is, like you say, his career is just boring. Boring as fuck. But what can you do? What can you do? PR disaster that was for Ben Shalom. And speaking of boxer and Sky, Eubank Jr. versus Liam Smith 2 is now off again. And it's not got a rescheduled date, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Don't be shocked if Chris Eubank Jr. then fights Conor Benn. Tyson Fury UD against David Tua. Especially the Tyson Fury who fought Klitschko. He'll just UD David Tua easily. Yeah, Sky is just pure corporate garbage. Sky Sports boxing cards, pure garbage. They fill their quotas. It's just PR. It's all this PC bullshit nonsense. I got no interest. Absolute trash. Yeah, I agree. Clark is a better pundit than a boxer. Yeah, I agree. I think he's a good pundit. Yeah, he comes across well. He speaks well. It would be embarrassing, don't get me wrong, JD, and I think that's why they never took the fight. They don't believe in him. But if you're the Olympian, you're the guy with all of these amateur fights, you're supposed to believe in him, right? You're supposed to believe in him. But there you go. Yeah, those British Sky shows are absolutely dreadful. How do you reckon they'll catch up? Take a chance with one of their big names? I reckon it'll be a checkbook out for the 2024 Olympians. Yeah. I don't know, bro, is the honest answer. I've got no idea where they're going. When they first started, I gave them a lot of time because it's a new outfit. They're signing new fighters. They're building a roster. Cool. But like when I watch their shows, they are devoid of any atmosphere, any passion. Like I said, it's like they're doing boxing for the sake of it. There's all of these like PC quotas they fill with female fights, etc. To me, it's just absolute garbage. Ben Shalom, again, has about as much charisma as an amoeba, dreadful promoter. Absolutely awful. Lawrence Okole's music makes me want to have stage 87 cancer. in Dubai with a whole load of Arabs. Hearn's cards at the end of Sky weren't great, but now, mate, it's awful. It just has such a strange feel to it, not like it used to be. I don't like it. Yeah, so I agree. I agree. Yep, great fights on Saturday. Lara versus Wood 2, Conlan versus Lopez. Both have fight of the year potential. Okole as a bore, hoping Billum Smith beats him. Yeah, I think Okole is going to beat Billum Smith, personally. I'm not going to watch it. Yeah, Sky are going woke and going broke. It's like that across all channels, yeah. That's one thing I rate about PBC. They don't try and force like the whole female boxing agenda. Top Rank are not too bad at it. You know, they have that Michaela Mayer, who for some reason people simp over. Michaela Mayer. To me, she's got a horse face. I don't like the look of her. What's up, Ponche? How you doing? Ponche Punchy, how you doing? I think Okole versus CBS will be more entertaining than you think. I mean, you're an optimistic man, JD. You're an optimistic man. I miss the Adam Smith days of Sky, not going to lie. We'll never hear anything like Manchester Arena. We'll never forget ever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Mexican boxing owns the UK right now. Do you concur? I mean, it's looking that way, right? Maybe it'll be better after this weekend if Lee Wood gets the job done. I'm not claiming Michael Conlan, by the way. Fuck that guy. I'm rooting for Lopez in that fight. I'm not really rooting for anyone in the Lara fight. I like both guys. I like Lara though. What's good, J7? Mm-hmm. I don't get it either. Michaela is awful looking. How people pay to see her, I'll never know. Yeah, I'm not going to say she's like absolutely dreadful to look at. I'm not saying that, but like she's just Bobby Basic as fuck. Like shaped like an ironing board, horse face. It's just not for me. It's not for me. No, I think he'll get clinched up. I think he'll get clinched up. Very weird that Taylor versus Lopez isn't getting any hype or build from Top Rank, both on a bit of a downslide, but both styles should provide an entertaining matchup. Yeah, it should be a good fight. But Loma versus Haney wasn't really hyped that much. That never had much promotion, or it felt like that at least. Bro, I swear I made a tweet on this guy time ago, right? Gary Cully, pointing out the mistakes that he makes on Twitter, saying about how he leaves his chin in the air to dry, backs up in straight lines. If he doesn't sort it out, he's going to get stopped. And I had so many people on Twitter come at me. Oh, he's knocking everyone out. He's knocking everyone out. You're a hater. Now look, now my man got fucking splattered. Fucking idiots. It's annoying because like it's annoying when you'll pick out certain things in regards to a fighter's performance when they win. Like you'll pick out faults and people automatically think you're hating. And now we see those faults get badly exposed. I'm sure I said about Gary Cully on Twitter. It wasn't a video, it was Twitter. Because I had people come at me. I had people come at me. Here's what I said. I found exactly what I said. There's a lot to do. Sorry, this was February the 18th. There's a lot of work. There's a lot to work with in Gary Cully. However, I don't like the constant bouncing or how he falls in with his straight shots. Yeah. And then some retard comes back and says, or how he knocks out his opponents, laughing emojis. I might go back to this guy. I might go back to this guy. What are you saying, bro? Dickhead. I should be Gary Cully's trainer. You think you think Jack Catterall will face Prograis or the winner of Taylor Lopez next? A very underrated fighter with the potential to beat Prograis. I mean, yeah, Prograis's more possible because he's with Matchroom now. So I could see Prograis versus Jack Catterall. I think Prograis beats him. Correlate, yeah, facts. Fuck watching that guy. Gary Cully was one of my favourite prospects from across the pond. I was gutted, but yeah, he's kind of like Ryan with his chin in the air, yeah. Basic mistakes. And it's like when you're knocking guys out quickly like he was doing, it's very easy to get gassed up. You won't look back. You'll look back at the knockout, but you're not going to look back at what you did wrong. And you kind of get sold on your own hype. That's a tale as old as time when it comes to boxing. Bro, Conor McGregor now looks like a completely different human being. That's a mixture of like trash Irish whiskey, steroids, and fucking cocaine. He looks like a completely different person now. He's definitely been on HGH. His head has grown. His head looks fucking massive now. Yeah, if you have those flaws, you better have a chin, i.e. Munguia. But even Munguia, like, I think Munguia's got a decent chin, but I'm not sure how good it is just yet. I want to see him fight a real puncher. Like, Carl Froch is a better example. Like, Carl Froch made a lot of basic mistakes. Backed up with his hands down, chin in the air. He made a lot of basic mistakes, Carl Froch, but he got away with it because of a chin. Same with, like, Margarito, for example. Although Margarito's defense was better than people gave it credit for, personally, but... Yeah, Ireland took some L's on that card, yeah. Little Lever, Meat Cleaver, yeah? Jack Cullen, he's another one. Is this official yet? Because I've seen all of these reports. Is it official? I hope it is. In regards to the co-main event, I've never seen this guy fight. I know he beat Gabriel Flores, but I've never seen him fight. But he's unbeaten, right? So it could be a good fight. Isaac Cruz is a good contender. Could be a good fight. Yeah, Connor is coked the fuck up. Connor is coked the fuck up. I mean, yeah. Warrington, I think he's going to fight a tune-up from what I've been hearing. I heard Jazza Dickens' name get mentioned a few times. And after that, I wouldn't be shocked if he targets the Lara Wood 2 winner. Okay, so Mike Coppinger confirmed that Spence and Crawford have agreed to terms, but it's not official yet. Okay. It's not official. Okay, I'll get you. It's one of those fights now. We've been speaking about this fight for so long. There's been various negotiations. I'll believe it when we see it. Yeah, nothing official. American media is full of shit. I think most boxing media is, man, to be honest with you. Yeah, funnily enough, though, if Conor McGregor is going to be listen, he's past his best now, Conor. But if he's going to be any top fighter, it will be Chandler because of the risks that Chandler takes. He leaves a lot of openings. If he can beat anybody, it will be Chandler. If he can get a lucky shot in, not a lucky shot, but if he times one shot, he could maybe beat Chandler. But that would be as good as it gets for Conor. I personally would favour Chandler. I would favour Chandler to beat McGregor, though. At least Chandler is a proper athlete. He doesn't do this bullshit outside the cage. He'll be fit and strong come fight night. Whereas McGregor is like going to be on a detox camp. No cocaine, no trash whiskey. You know what I mean? So no. No, Conor's going to get himself killed, bro, if he takes that fight. Conor's going to get himself killed. Conor's going to get himself killed, man. No. I think what'll happen is if Conor loses to Chandler, you'll see him take these influencer type of fights. Like maybe he'll box Nate Diaz or Jake Paul. That's what he'll do if he loses again. If he loses again, that's what he'll do. He'll go into influencer boxing. That's what I think he'll do. If he wins, I could see him fighting maybe the winner of Leon Edwards and Colby Covington. I know he's got no chance in those fights, but it would be a cash-out fight, I guess. McGregor's last big payday. Like if Colby Covington beats Leon Edwards, Colby versus Conor is a massive fight. It's a massive fight. And we all know Colby would win, but the trash talk would be crazy. The sales would be through the roof. Now, I'm not a big fan of whiskey, to be honest. I don't like it. I like my vodka now and again, but I'm not a big fan of whiskey. And I like gin as well, a little bit. I like a bit of gin now and again. Hot summer's day, nice gin and tonic, bit of lemon in there, little bit of ice. Wonderful. Yeah, I don't know. Cocaine is a slippery slope. Cocaine is a slippery slope. Fuck doing cocaine. Never tried it. Well, apparently with tequila, you don't really get hangovers. I mean, I've drunk tequila, but I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it, to be honest. Colby will get under Conor's skin easily. I don't mind Colby, to be honest. He's a twat, but it's a character, yeah. I think what he's done is very smart, Colby Covington. I think what he's done is very smart. He has taken advantage of a time in society where people are very, 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 very sensitive in regards to politics, and he's really played on that very well. It's a genius gimmick when you think about it. It's a genius gimmick. Because that wouldn't have really worked, I don't think, in another time when people were more emotionally stable. But these days, a lot of people are emotionally incontinent when it comes to politics. And you don't have to say much to really get under somebody's skin. And Colby's just gone like to 100 with it. And he's been very successful in building up notoriety. So, yeah, big up to Colby, man. I think what he's done is genius. Yeah, I'm not a fan of tequila. I like my beer, though. I like a beer now and again. I like beer. I like beer. Especially like stouts, like Guinness. Love it. Yeah, Colby is apparently the complete opposite IRL, which is mad, yeah. I mean, if people, this is how dumb the average person is, though. This is how emotionally incontinent the average person is. If you can't see that is a gimmick, then you are more than likely mentally ill, mentally handicapped in some way. Maybe you've got low T. There's something wrong with you. If you can watch that guy and you don't deduce that it's a character, there is something wrong with you. If you're getting offended by that, honestly, I hope you get. Honestly, I hope you catch a beating. Seriously. Yeah, I would refuse to drink it, London Chef. I would refuse to drink it. It's basically blended whiskey made in Bushmills Distillery, which he's put his name on. Yeah, proof branding is everything. Yeah, facts. Facts. I like Smirnov. Yeah, I like Smirnov. I like Russian Standard as well. That's one of my go-to vodkas. I swear big shops now have stopped selling Russian Standard because it has Russian in the title. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? But my corner shop still sells it. I've not bought any vodka since like Christmas, but I know they still sell it. Yeah, he's done well for himself, and I just find him. To me, he's so corny. It's like it's cringy but funny. It's cringy but funny. It's more so the reactions that he gets out of people that I find funny. I think he's a joker. I really do. That's one thing though. A lot of boxers don't understand, whereas UFC fighters tend to understand this. It's not just up to your promoter to promote you. We're in the age of social media. It's also up to you to get yourself out there. You know, really, your promoter now secures TV deals. He secures cards. He secures time slots. Promoters' jobs have changed. They're not out and about putting posters up and, shouting from the rooftops that their guy's fighting. That's not what a promoter does anymore, but a lot of fighters act like that's how it is. It's not. Fighters need to do a better job in boxing of actually promoting themselves, because a lot of these guys just stand idly and expect millions and millions and millions of dollars without doing anything, without getting themselves out there. Yeah, people are triggered by Russian names on food and beverage. Yeah, exactly. It's a joke, isn't it? It's a joke. Absolute joke. That's the thing, though. I don't think Colby is necessarily a great trash talker because he's not all that witty. It's like high school humor, but he's just picked a really good topic to do it on. This MAGA Donald Trump supporter. He's got a great character. It works so fucking well because the actual trash talk isn't that good. Like he's not as good a trash talker as Prime Conor McGregor or Chael Sonnen. Even a John Jones, when John Jones was trash talking DC, bro, John Jones came across cold with it. Colby's not that sort of trash talker. He's just picked a really good gimmick. Yeah, Kamshot Chimaev, yeah. That's one of his strong points for like the names he gives people. Marty Fake Newsman, Kamshot Chimaev, Dilbert, what's his name? What's that Gilbert's guy? Gilbert Saink. Calls him Dilbert. What do you call Ben Askren, like the 40-year-old virgin? Like, it's so childish, but it's funny. No, I haven't heard about that. Yeah, if that's true, man, commiserations to Joe Smith's family. That's fucking crazy. Rhode Island, right? Is where Joe Smith is from. Okay, yeah, so he got shot in New York over the weekend. Yeah, that's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. Yeah, I remember when DC said he would spit on John Jones if his security would let him. That beef was nasty, yeah. And John Jones said, if you ever did that, I'd literally kill you. And DC comes back and says, do you think I'm just going to sit there and let you kill me? Like, it was so fucking funny. It was so fucking funny. Like, John Jones just started it when the cameras weren't even rolling. Like, pussy, are you still there? Like, it's fucking so funny. Top guy at 140 right now. I'm going to still say Taylor. I know his last fight was bullshit. I get it. But prior to that, he put in the work. We'll see. We'll see when he fights Tio, right? We'll see where he's at. But I'm going to still say Taylor at the minute. Rolly Romero, number one pound for pound. Facts. He hits so hard, like... You know, Tony, what's his name? Who was it? Who was the referee of that fight? Tony Weeks. He hit so hard that Tony Weeks was scared for Barroso's life. So he stopped it prematurely. Fucking nonsense, man. Yeah, hey pussy, you still there? Yeah, man, the world's going crazy right now, Ian. The world's going crazy right now. I swear we're heading into like... I don't know, man. We're in like some parallel universe right now. So somewhere along the line, we made a left turn instead of right. Maybe it was that fucking Hadron Collider bullshit. Maybe it was that. Who knows? In fucking Switzerland, those nerdy scientists. Yeah, he's still rocking that high top, isn't it, Tony Weeks? Like the only man left rocking that hairstyle. But yeah, he's a trash referee, man. He's a really trash referee. I hope Taylor wins. I'd like to see Taylor redeem himself, to be honest. Because his career in the last 18 months has been nothing short of disappointing. You know, he was doing really well, you know, picking up good wins, becoming undisputed, some amazing momentum, and he's just kind of thrown it away. But if he's to beat Teofimo Lopez, it puts him back on the right track. Tio's a big name and a good fighter in his own right. Feed him, listen, bro. Feed Rolly Romero to fucking Subriel Matias. But honestly, I think O'Hara Davis is about to knock out Rolly Romero. I think O'Hara Davis knocks him out. I really do. Yeah, Lawrence Cole is worse than Weeks, I would say. I mean, you're picking between a shit sandwich and a puke milkshake. I mean, like, they're both terrible. They're both fucking terrible. I always found Lawrence Cole a bit worse, to be fair. I think you may be right. He just looks fucking slimy, innit? What's up, Alan? How you doing? Do you know what, Beast LFC? I'm not even thinking about those fights right now. I don't think either are going to happen. I don't trust Tyson Fury as far as I can throw him, for a start. As for Wilder versus AJ, again, man, we've heard about this fight for so long at this point in time. I'll believe it when they're in the ring or when it's made official, and then I'll think about it. But right now, I probably lean towards Wilder beating AJ. Fury Usyk, I'm not sure. Rolly Romero is the worst champion in boxing, period, in my opinion. I think he's the worst worst world champion in boxing, period. I'm talking like UK domestic guys would beat him. Guys like O'Hara Davis, Dalton Smith, Adam Azim. These guys beat Rolly Romero tomorrow. Yeah, I'll believe. It's one of those things. I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, these guys have had like various negotiations over the years, and it's like it's never amounted to anything. So I'll believe it when I see it, but they're running out of time. They're running out of time. Terence Crawford has no promoter. He doesn't sell shit. Errol Spence Jr. has been living a crazy life outside the ring. He's not going to be around for much longer. I think now's the time. So I wouldn't be shocked if it gets made, but I need to see it to believe it. I need to see it to believe it. I hope it happens. I hope we get it out of the way. And in the meantime, we also get Virgil versus Stanionis, which is happening in July, I want to say. And I also hope we get Boots in there with a good fighter so we can have somebody challenging the winner. That's what I want to see. But whether it works out that way, I don't know. He's better than Rolly Romero, O'Hara Davis. He's better. At least he has some understanding of distance. Yeah, he'll fight a bum. He'll fight a bum, Zoma. He'll fight a complete bum. He's talking about fighting Dempsey McKean in Australia. That's who Tyson Fury's talking about fighting next. Dempsey McKean. Complete scrub, that guy. Yeah, Ray Moylette could beat Rolly. Yeah, could do. Rolly is terrible. Rolly is terrible. That kid on the undercard, that Kenneth Sims Jr., he'd beat Rolly Romero comfortably, as would Akhmedov. He'd beat him as well. Yeah, that fight's been called off again. It's been called off again. And there's been no rescheduled date. So I've got a feeling Chris Eubank Jr. is going to fight Conor Benn. I think Chris Eubank Jr. is going to fight Conor Benn. I think that's what's going to happen. Cletus Seldin would beat Rolly. Nah, Cletus Seldin was a bum as well. He was terrible. What did he call himself? What was his nickname? The Hebrew Hammer. The Hebrew Hammer. That guy was a complete and utter bum. I'd actually take Rolly over him. Complete bum, that guy. I'd actually be rooting for Rolly in that fight, I can't lie. I've not scored it, bro. I've not watched it back. I'd like to see it, bro. Subriel Matias against Rolly Romero. That'll be like locking a fucking pit bull in with a chihuahua. That'll be brutal, man. Yes, I'd like to see that as well. Yeah, if we could get Janabek versus Liam Smith, I'd love to see it. A good fight. I think Dell beats Rolly Romero. I could probably give him trouble with like just pure movement. I'm lanky and tall. He's a bum. He's so bad. Yeah, he fought I forget the guy's name, but he scored him and dropped him multiple times, yeah. Is this fight official? Is this fight official? If that fight's official, I'll be rooting for Navarrete, but I wouldn't be shocked if that's a replay of Burchell, where Valdez just takes him apart and knocks him out. Because Navarrete doesn't have that size advantage anymore at super featherweight. You know, and he got hurt badly in his last fight against Liam Wilson. I could see Valdez knocking him out. Yeah, exactly. Andy Cruz, pro debut against Rolly Romero. He'd beat him, yeah. I can see it because Navarrete is kind of deceptively long and he's awkward as well. But he gets involved a little too much. He gets involved in fights a bit too much, and I can see Valdez having success there. It's a good fight, that is. Navarrete versus Valdez. It's a good fight. But like you say, he is very flat-footed. He's a good fighter, Dalton Smith, but I don't think he's a future world champion. The only way he'd be a world champion is if he fights Rolly Romero. He'll beat him. He'll beat Rolly. But that's not really a good qualifier, is it? There's a lot of guys who'd beat Rolly. It doesn't mean they're world class. It doesn't mean they're world class. Iron Man, Francisco Vargas back in the day was a really fun fighter. When he fought Miura, that was an amazing fight. I think that was on a Golovkin undercard. Miura versus Vargas. I want to say it was on Golovkin Canelo 1. Maybe I could be wrong on that. I think I am wrong on that. But it was a great fight. It was a great fight. Yeah, Valdez has pretty good timing, Ponce. I could see him timing Navarrete. Bob Arum should get the checkbook out and get White versus Anderson. Big Baby beats him. Yeah, Dillian White is there for the taking now. His chin is gone. His chin is gone. I think he's trying to... Dillian White, though, is trying to get an AJ fight. That's what he's trying to get. One last cash out, which I don't blame him. He knows he's done. Dillian knows he's done. What's going on in Belgorod in Russia? I need to look into that. That Vargas fight, I think, was on the undercard of Orlando Salido versus Roman Martinez. Okay, maybe, yeah, I was wrong then. But it was a great fight. It was a great fight. Vargas was really good value for money. He was a really good fighter to watch, but he obviously, because of his style, he faded so quickly. Is Dubois still a virgin, or has he been on a nest? I wouldn't be shocked if he's still a virgin, Daniel Dubois. I wouldn't be shocked. There's something off with that guy. I kind of feel for him as well because he's a nice kid. But I've said this numerous times with Daniel Dubois, but I think he's got that Peter Pan syndrome because his dad basically put him in boxing very young and was very hard on him. He's probably not had the social development because of that, you know. And sometimes, you know, pushy parents who try and push kids to do a certain thing, their kids end up that way. They end up socially, you know, fucked up basically. And I think that's what's probably happened with Dubois. That's my theory. His dad, you know, in pursuing boxing, has neglected him of social interactions as a kid. And when you've not had those as a kid, it's hard to kind of grow out of, I guess. That'd be my theory in regards to Dubois. Kind of like Michael Jackson's dad, you know? But I don't think, well, Dubois is not as fucked up as Michael Jackson, obviously. But you get my point. You get my point. Michael Jackson was always, you know, he was like, again, Peter Pan syndrome. But he seems like a nice kid. So I don't want to be hard on him because he seems like a nice guy. I vaguely remember it, G-Man. I vaguely remember it. Good point. Yeah, he's training with Don Charles now, I think. Yeah, I mean, listen, we all say some fucked up shit sometimes, right? We all say fucked up shit sometimes. I mean, it's not like he's made a habit of it. I think it was one of those things he probably thought sounded good in his head, and when he said it, yeah, it went down like a lead balloon. Yeah, Dubois has 10 brothers and sisters. His father brought them all up, yeah. And his father seems like a real taskmaster, which is fine, but you have to have like social interaction as well with your peers growing up. Otherwise, you're going to be in a lot of bother. It's like there's this whole movement to try and homeschool kids because of what they're teaching in schools, and I agree with it, no doubt. But I hope parents don't make the mistake of not having their kids do extracurricular activities in like whether it be a sport or whatever it may be to actually talk to other kids. Do you know what I mean? Vargas fell off quickly because they stuck Varda on him and also his style. Yeah, but he was great to watch, man. Vargas, he was great to watch. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. All 11 still live in the same house. Dubois probably a millionaire at this point, still at home. It's kind of crazy, right? It's kind of crazy. But I noticed that in Italy as well. Like when I went to Italy, like well-to-do like guys who just still lived with their parents, like who are doing quite well. Well, it looked about. I mean, I don't know, right? But it looked that way. But like so many people out there live with their parents. It's more of a cultural thing, I guess. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Who the fuck is David Fields? Don't know who that. Who's David Fields? Is he a boxer? I don't know who it is. I'm turning into a casual. I've got no idea who it is. Is Haney going to sign with Hearn? Well, Paulie Malignaggi said he signed with Top Rank, but apparently that's not true. So I'd say so. Yeah, he'd go to Hearn. It's going to be Hearn or PBC. Okay, so David Fields is a boxing ref. The ref who did AJ Klitschko. I don't even remember what he looks like, bro, to be honest with you. Is he a bald guy? I don't know. I don't know who he... Yeah. All I remember, I mean, he stopped that fight too early. I'll say that much. He stopped that fight too early. That final sequence from AJ, not much got through, if anything, from recollection. It's kind of crazy, though, how that fight, it never really has... It doesn't have that reputation, though, as being a bad stoppage. I thought the stoppage was kind of trash. I can't lie. Oh, I think I know the guy. I think I know the guy. Is it the guy who looks like a little... He looks a little like Steve Harvey. Yeah, I don't think he'll make that fight. Even if he signs Devin Haney, I don't think he'll make that fight. Yeah, people saw the 2 knockdowns and they justified it like that. Yeah. Yeah, that is facts. Yeah. Sending kids to school these days is pretty much child abuse. Too many sick agendas. Not going to lie, I'm kind of dating a teacher right now. I might ask her. I'm going to ask her those questions. She's a PE teacher, though, so it's like, I don't know what she would know. I guess she would know, right? What they're like. Are they pushing like certain agendas? When it comes to that sort of thing, it feels like it's actually worse in the USA than it is the UK, which is kind of crazy. Or certain places in the USA, like New York and California. But I'll ask her. I'll ask her because she's kind of that way inclined as well. I kind of, when like topics of conversation come up, and I thought she'd be like really, like down with like all of this wokery, so to speak, but doesn't seem that way, which is kind of interesting. No, I never grew up Catholic. No, I believe in God, but I don't follow any one religion. I just believe in God. I remember one of my PE teachers at middle school. I've got no idea how she became a PE teacher because, like, honestly, she couldn't get out of her own way. She was fucking massive. Couldn't believe how she was a PE teacher. Not exactly setting a good example, are you? She looked like a fucking blimp, I'm telling you. Mrs. Young was her name. Mrs. Young. Yeah, New York. New York looks dead. My best PE teacher was some Australian woman, though. That was at high school, or upper school, as we call it out here. Mrs. Pierce or Miss Pierce, one of the two. She's an Aussie. She's kind of banging as well. She left though after my first year, went back to Australia. She was nice. I did that blimp have a big fat ass? Obviously, yeah. By you know, yeah. Of course not, Alan. Of course not. They're not going to go anywhere. Yeah, our music teacher at middle school, he turned out to be a nonce. That was my teacher in year 5, so I was 9 years old, and that guy was a nonce. Mr. Condridge was his name, and yeah, he turned out to be a nonce, bad nonce. Lara on points, crazy D3. Lara beats Danny Garcia. Yeah, Lara's just going to play with him. I know Lara's like 40, but Danny Garcia's no middleweight. I got a kiss off a maths teacher at my graduation, to be honest. To be honest, she wasn't the greatest, but 18-year-old me was all there. Yeah, it's crazy what you'd actually, what gets you going at 18 years old. Like when I was that age, 18, 19, 20, like that sort of age, I'm not going to lie, yeah. Looking back, I got with some absolute, I'm not going to say monstrosities, that's wrong, but like real basic, like undesirables, put it that way. Society's rejects, I guess I'd put it, right? I had no standards back then. No standards whatsoever. The worst and the best at the same time was this traveler girl. She had a nice, she's one of those weird, so this was a proper mindfuck because she honestly had one of the ugliest faces I've ever seen. But her body was a 10 out of 10, a genuine 10 out of 10. It was such a mindfuck. I was also scared as well because she had a proper pikey traveler accent. Like, bro, it was a weird time. It was a weird time. It was a weird time. But yeah, that was fucking. I would never go there again, man. It's not worth a risk. It's not worth a risk. Because if I did a bad job, that's one. if I did a bad job, she'd probably get her fucking like cousins and brothers to come around and fuck me up. You know what Vajippos are like. But yeah, she had the most Butters face. Like she's been hit in her fucking face with a shovel, but her body was really good. It was a good time, though. It was a good time. Weird. Weird. It was a weird experience, but it wasn't too bad. Yeah, exactly, Alan. Exactly. Oh, fucking hell. I remember I shagged a bird after a night out, and she stunk my room out for about 2 weeks. Jesus. Still got the job done, though, like a true lad. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I've not had many of those moments. Do you know when you get with somebody and once you're too far gone, like once you're too far into it, you know there's no turning back, and you realize that I'd rather be anywhere else but here. I've made a mistake. Those are the worst. And I know they must know by the energy at that point in time that this dude finds me repulsive. Do you know what I mean? But you got to soldier on. I've had that with a couple of girls. Maybe Zoma, sorry. Maybe he is. Shakur. I think Shakur beats Tank, personally. We used to say single or double bagger based on how much of a butterface she is. Double means one goes on your head in case one goes on your head in case hers falls off. Oh wow. Wow. Those were the days though, man. I know those were the days. Acting like a fool. That's all we did really. Like when we left, like once we could go to the club, that's all we did. Is just try and pull. That's it. But kids now, man, like teenagers now, like 18, 19, but these guys just stay inside and don't do anything. They don't go out. It's crazy. Especially in this day and age where like it's probably the easiest it's ever been to get laid. If you're just after that. But bro, so many of these guys now are just it's like they've been castrated. It's mad. It's mad. I saw your comment, JD. I'm not even going to read it. I'm not even going to read it. That's probably a good place to get fucking if you're working in a gym as a guy, it's probably a good place to pick up women. Speaking of gyms, man, I'm going to go back down. I'm going to sign up to a new boxing gym in my area probably next week. I just need a couple of bits to arrive, like training gear. Once I've got that, I'll sign up. Del, you are coping. Yeah, I know, right? Who is that guy, man? That guy on BDA on like Second Renaissance. I forgot his name. That guy was fucking funny. That guy was funny. I forgot his name though. Is it Evan? Was it Evan? I don't know what his name was. Yeah, my best friend, his brother, 18, him, sorry. They got no lives. Sorry, your autocorrect's fucked up there, G-Man. But yeah, you're right. I know what you're trying to say. Like they don't fucking do anything these days, young kids. They just stay inside, watch fucking TikTok and basically vegetate, you know? And that's really why I'm going back down boxing gym because I work full-time job obviously. I do the YouTube as well on the side. I do other shit. Like I don't I'm working too much just sitting down, man. I need to get back fit. It's not that I'm unfit now. Like I ran a 3 mile run the other day, not too bad, like in a pretty good time. It's not that I'm unfit, but if I continue this way, I'm gonna get into a really bad fucking routine. So yeah, I thought I'd go down boxing gym maybe 3 or 4 times a week. No, no. Have you heard of that Mizzy kid that broke into someone's house on TikTok? No, but I'm not surprised. LT. It wasn't LT. It wasn't LT. It wasn't LT. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. Sorry, I remember that guy. He tried to move to Bucho. He eventually got kicked out. Funny thing is, he eventually posted his girlfriend on Discord. Yeah, that guy was a weirdo, man. He was obsessed with like knowing what other guys looked like, so he could rate their faces. Like he's one of those black pill guys, you know, who watch all of his black pill dating content. One of those guys. Absolute weirdo. And I swear he put like a picture of himself in the server as well, so people could rate him. Weird, weird, weird guy. Basically, what he's a repressed fucking gay, isn't he? That's what he is. Let's be honest. Gyms other new clubs now. Yeah, but I the thing is with me, I refuse to go to like a regular gym with like just weights. I'd rather do boxing, man. I'd rather do something I enjoy. I'd rather do something I enjoy because if I want to do weights, there's weights there. I'm not a weight guy anyway. I like being lean, but all I've been doing recently in regards to exercise before I go back to the gym is I do like a 3 mile run, maybe two to three times a week, 100 sit ups, 100 push ups, planks, basically 5 days a week. Just basic ass shit, just to tick over. And then I'll go back down the gym on top of that, maybe 3 or 4 times a week, just to keep ticking over, you know. Yeah, I recently got back into MMA, put on 30 pounds over a year, getting in shape for the summer, and I'm gonna start socializing more. Yeah, man, no doubt. I should have really started a bit earlier if I wanted to get in shape by summer. Again, it's not like I'm carrying extra weight, but I need to tone up. I need to tone up. The good thing about that, because I've always been like thin, athletic. That's my optimum build when I was boxing before. I can get back to that relatively easily if I'm just consistent for a couple of months, 2 or 3 months maybe. Back in my day, when I was talking in regards to my late teens, early 20s, mainly in the club, to be honest, a little bit on like Plenty of Fish. I don't think Tinder was even a thing back then. But I've never really been big into the online dating stuff. The online dating stuff to me misses one important step is like the whole courting phase, like actually going to meet somebody in public, bumping into somebody, shooting your shot. It's more exciting doing it the old school way, like in a bar, in a club, whatever. Planks are very bad for your back. Avoid it. Really? I'm going back to the gym, pin my sniper. I've not gone back yet. I'm just waiting on my last couple of bits of gear to arrive. I'm still waiting on the shoes and a gym bag. They'll be here though in the next day or so. One weight training routine I recommend to anyone boxing is hand curls to build their forearms. Yeah, you want those Golovkin forearms. Yeah, public interactions are way better. Yeah, I agree. It's just more fun. It's just more fun. But yeah, all I want to be doing really is getting back to the gym, building up a good base of stamina, and sparring now and again. That's all I really want to do, staying sharp. I don't really aim on having a couple of like senior amateur fights or anything like that. Who knows though? Maybe I'll catch the bug. But I just really want to take over. Because I've noticed, even doing this little exercise I'm doing now, I have felt a lot better for it, like more energized. And that was one thing I was noticing by doing like all this work, constantly sat down. I just felt super drained all the time, man. So now I've added a bit of exercise. I feel so much better. And I'm not really, as I said, I'm not really doing that much right now. 3 miles, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And 1,000 sit-ups. Sorry, 100 sit-ups. I wish 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, and planks every day. Well, 5 days a week. That's what I'm doing, and I feel much better already. I would have thought. Like weight training on your shoulders is bad. I guess it depends on what sort of puncher you are, though, right? If you're tall and lean, I'd imagine it's bad. Okay, Alan, if you weight train your shoulders, you have just as much, or you'll lose flexibility. Yeah, you can't overdo it. I wouldn't have thought with like shoulders. Calisthenics, yeah. I would prioritize pull-ups and leg work over core and chest. Bro, I want to kind of look decent though as well. I want to get toned up. It's not just like to box. I kind of want to look decent as well. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, my style when it comes to boxing, I'm a long range type of boxer. I'm a tall, lanky guy, so ideally I like to rely on straight punches on the outside, half step back and try and walk people into shots type of thing. That's how I tried to fight anyway. I'm not great. But that's how I tried to fight. I tried to just utilize my body mechanics. That's one thing I've noticed about boxing trainers they don't do well at is recognizing a person's body mechanics and basically going from there. I noticed that with a lot of trainers in the UK, they are one size fits all. So they'll teach a guy who's 6 foot or 6'1", 6'2", the same thing they teach a guy who's like 5'5", 5'6". It's crazy. They should really analyze the height and reach, their body type, how they move, etc., etc. I'm going Conlan, Wood, and Akole to win on the weekend. It's possible. I certainly think Akole's winning. Yeah, some skinny guys can crack, man. Some skinny guys can crack. There's that wiry type of strength. And I think I've read something in regards to like having long tendons is good for punching power. And if you're like tall and lanky, a lot of, I guess, that's you're more likely to have like long tendons and things of that nature. Yeah, that was so fucking funny. That it wasn't funny, but it was such a brutal knockout when Lee Wood put him through the ropes. Oh wow. Yeah, basically a lot of boxing trainers only teach what they know. They'll try and fit square pegs in round holes. Exactly. Yeah. That's my problem with a lot of boxing trainers. You know, when you've got somebody coming in who's raw, who's maybe doesn't have much experience, you need to analyze how they move and you know how their body moves and you know what's comfortable to them and naturally build on that instead of trying to do something that is unnatural to that person's body, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's weird. I've been the same, JD. So I've always had just really good endurance, like cardio, pure cardio. Like I've lived like shit for the last 2 years, absolute shit. And the first run I did was about 4 miles. And I'm not saying I wasn't breathing at the end of it. Of course I was, but like most people who have been as inactive as I have couldn't do a mile, let alone at the pace I did 4 miles. So I've always had good cardio, a good base cardio. I just need to build it back up to what it was. I need to build it back up to what it was. Like I remember, like my last job, not this job, my previous job, we had to do a charity thing. Everyone had to do something for charity, and I signed up for a 10K run cross country, and I didn't train once for it. And I think it was like 200 people did the run, and with no training at all, I smashed it in about 40 minutes, 10K. That's not bad. For somebody who's not trained, that's not bad. So yeah, I need to. That was another reason why I decided to go back to the gym because like I don't want to lose that. I'm kind of letting it erode away. I don't want to lose it. You're only young once, right? So you might as well be in decent shape. I'm not trying to be fucking get jacked or anything like that. That doesn't interest me. Yeah, I like the Conlan Lopez fight. It's a good fight. I agree. I think it'll be a late stoppage as well, maybe points. But I think Conlan's got a real chance. A lot of trainers are failed fighters. Indeed. When I was boxing, I had decent hand speed and power because of fast twitch muscles, but I had no stamina because I was never good at endurance running, plus asthma, yeah. You're like Teofimo Lopez. He's got asthma, apparently. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's funny you say that. I found a clip of me shadowboxing when I was 19 years old. I've put on weight since then. I was skinny as fuck when I was 18, 19. But I saw myself shadowboxing. I was so much quicker back then. So much quicker. Facts. Facts, JD. I have a somewhat similar lanky build like you. I'm just a bit shorter, standing at 5'11" and a half. Me and you were cut from the same cloth. Great athletes that didn't maximize their potential. Yeah, it kind of sucks looking back on it. It kind of sucks looking back on it. I wish I took boxing seriously when I was young, but you know you can't cry over spilt milk. You can't cry over spilt milk. You do have time, JD. Like you could start boxing now and get somewhere. Like 18 is kind of old to start, but it's been done. Sergio Martinez started at 20 years old. You know what I mean? So like it can be done. It can be done. You could do it, bro. You could literally do it. You could literally do it. So I'd get down to the gym. I'd get down to the gym if I was you. Get down there. Give it a go. If I was a pro, I'd definitely be one of those guys who's dangerous for 4 rounds, but useless after that. Yeah, just starting gassing out, like throwing one punch at a time. Like, yeah, that's another thing though. I say my stamina's good. Like, it's decent when I run, but like, I've not sparred in a while. So I wonder how I'm going to do. Yeah, AJ started at 18, but he's 6'6". Yeah, it's definitely easier to start late in the heavyweight division, no doubt. But, you know, fighters outside of that have started late. Like I say, Sergio Martinez started at 20. Nate Campbell, who was a former lightweight champion, started at 24, I believe, 24, 25. So it can be done. It can be done. And there's been other fighters who have started late as well. There's been other fighters who have started late. Dwight Mohammed Kwawi started very late. He started in prison. Dwight Mohammed Kwawi, I think he was 25 when he got in boxing. And yeah, that was when he was at prison. And he came out, never had any amateur fights, and just went straight to the pros and had a good career. I never knew Rocky Marciano started late. Rocky Marciano started late as well. I know he was a heavyweight, but I think he started at 23, 24, which is kind of crazy. I know, right? Apparently he started young, Campbell Hatton. Because he had a few amateur fights. Larry Holmes started at 19. Yeah, he did, yeah. Never been in a gym. What, are you looking just to go down a boxing gym? All I wear is like just trackies, Nike sports shirt, that's it. And obviously boxing shoes. I know, yeah, Clinton Woods, he's another guy who started late. Clinton Woods, I think, started at 22, 23 years old. He was basically like a druggie, a booze head before he started boxing. And he went down to the boxing gym to lose weight. And basically he kind of fell in love with it. And he took it up. And I know Clinton Woods isn't exactly like a household name, but he became a world champion. He fought Glenn Johnson a few times. He fought Roy Jones Jr., he fought Tavoris Cloud. He had a good career, all things considered, you know, considering when he started. So it can be done. You can start in your late teens, early 20s. It's just obviously a lot harder. And I think you probably have to have some intangibles, like you're super tough, like you've got a super good chin or power, whatever. I think Denzel Bentley started late. Yeah, I think he did. I think he started at 19, I read. Something like that. But, you know, again, Denzel Bentley's a good example. Yeah, he's not exactly a world beater, but considering he's done pretty good for himself, right? He's done okay for himself. He's had a world title fight, been a two-time British middleweight champion. There's nothing wrong with that. And by the way, I think he'd expose Hamza Shiraz, Denzel Bentley. Because, you know, Frank Warren's trying to hype that guy up. Hamza Shiraz. Get Bentley in there with him. I've never been able to actually fully find that out in regards to Bernard Hopkins. Obviously, he went to prison. And he boxed in prison. But I think he boxed before he went to prison when he was young. I think he boxed before he went to prison. And I think he may have given it up for a bit. Then he went to prison and boxed again. I think that's how it went with Hopkins. I might be wrong. Whereas Dwight Mohammed Kwawi, he literally never boxed, and he started boxing in prison at 25. He might be the most remarkable late starter in boxing because he wasn't a heavyweight, and he started at 25 in prison. That's pretty impressive. And he was a good fighter as well. He was a good fighter. It's one of those things, though. I think boxing, like, again, I think some people are more natural to it as well. Just with how their bodies work, how their bodies move. Because you've seen guys on TV who have boxed for like 20 years. You know, maybe they started boxing at 5 years old, and you see them on TV and they suck. J7. I'm 23 years old, work a full-time job with three children, and have a needy girlfriend. I desperately want to go back to the gym, but I guess I have greater responsibilities. I would try to compromise, J7. I would try to compromise. Um, maybe once you're winding down, once you've put the kids to bed, maybe have like a little half-hour cheeky run every night. Stick your headphones in, have a run. I'll tell you what, nighttime runs are they're really refreshing. Nighttime runs, they're really refreshing. Have a few runs at night, maybe for half hour when you're winding down. I love nighttime runs. I can't lie. I've really got into them. It just feels better than running in the day. I don't know what it is. The air feels better. I like the feeling of like working while others are going to sleep. So if I have a nighttime run, it's like 10, half 10 at night. It just feels good. And it's really well lit down one of these roads near me, so I can just run down it, and it's fine. Running is just one of those things you have to force yourself to do it sometimes. Sometimes I look forward to it, but sometimes you got to force yourself. But once you get going, it's one of those things that you just do it, kind of thing. It's getting started, really. That's the main thing. Exactly, yeah, like Andre Durrell, yeah, all the talent in the world, but no heart, yeah. Yeah, AJ posted on Instagram, and the caption was "Perfecting the sweet science." It's safe to say that we'll never see an aggressive AJ again. We'll see how it goes, but he can't outbox Fury. Yeah, facts. Yeah, he needs to take risks against Tyson Fury. Just go for a knockout. Yeah, running is so good for your mental state as well. Whenever I come back from one, I always have a calm state of mind. Yeah, yeah. There's that as well. There's that as well. When it comes to this whole workout thing, though, one thing I've never liked, I've tried it once to go down a regular gym, but bro, the energy just puts me off, man. Like, I'm sure a lot of those guys in like regular gyms, I'm convinced a lot of those guys work out to look good to other men more so than just getting fit and healthy. And it's just a weird. To me, it's a weird environment. Hence, why I'm going to go back down a boxing gym. It's just a better environment down a boxing gym because it's actually a valuable skill, right? To sharpen up and learn hand to hand properly. I've boxed before, but I'm not sharp, so it's actually worthwhile to know how to throw hands, especially in the UK. Nocturnal hunter genes. Floyd had them. That yeah. Yeah. It does feel good though. It does feel good. Nighttime running. It's weird though. That's where I feel most. I don't know. I guess if I'm working, I just feel more productive at night as well. In general, whatever I'm doing, it's strange. Even if I've been up a whole day, I feel better at night. It's so weird. It's so weird. But yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those. All I've got to do now is just quit smoking, and that's it. Quit the booze. I've not had a drink since fucking April, late March maybe. So fuck that shit, man. It's a waste of money. Like even now, like I've noticed as I've drunk less and less, obviously your tolerance goes down. And even like one beer, if I had one beer now, I'd feel like shit afterwards. Not like I'd feel drunk, but I just feel like shit. I'd feel lethargic and literally all I drink now is black coffee and water, basically. That's all I drink at the minute. Black coffee and water. Which is pretty good. It's just getting yourself into routine. And what I've noticed as well, I've obviously cut down my sugar a lot just by basic little things. Not because I've planned on it, but just, certain things I was eating and drinking beforehand contain sugar. And now, even when I eat something that isn't that sweet ordinarily, it tastes so much fucking sweeter. But just because I've gone without a lot of sugar recently, everything tastes extra sweet. Even things you don't expect, like bread, for example, like white bread, tastes super fucking sweet. And it goes to show like how much fucking sugars and all of this shit. Because all I've been doing the last couple of weeks, the last 3 weeks, is just like no processed, nothing processed, all meat and fish. And it's been good, man. I felt a lot better for it. It's crazy though. It's kind of crazy how quickly your body changes or how your body adapts. It's insane. Yeah, I'm going to go back and score it at some point in time. I may do it. I was thinking about doing it on a stream, but you'll get fucking copyrighted. That's the thing. There was that website Thunderdome used where you can send people to it and you have like a watch party. It's something like it goes to a different site. I was thinking about doing that, but I forgot what the website was called. Worst athletes in boxing. Worst athletes in boxing. I mean, how do you quantify that? I don't really know, to be honest. I don't really know. Oh yeah, Trevor Bryan. Trevor Bryan's a good shout. Yeah, Trevor Bryan looked like Homer. He looked like Homer Simpson. Absolutely dreadful. Slow as molasses. Butterbean had underrated hand speed though. Maybe it was because he was so fat, his hands looked quicker than they actually were. Maybe it was that. But he had quick hands for a fat guy. I stopped smoking for 6 years and didn't feel any better. Started again, but I'm going to stop soon. Yeah, I guess it was probably something else that was making you feel maybe off. Something else in your life, maybe. Like my people on my dad's side of the family, there was a lot of smokers on my dad's side. My dad never smoked, but my granddad did. His dad did, and a lot of other people did. And like weirdly, nobody got lung cancer or anything like that, and they all died like super, like in their late 80s, early 90s. Really bizarre. Really bizarre. But people on my mum's side who smoked, everyone on my mum's side got like so my uncle developed like pneumonia really young, and her mum got cancer. So it's like on one side of a family, smoking affects people. On the other side, not it doesn't seem to, weirdly. But I need to stop. I need to stop. I like sparkling water, believe it or not. I like sparkling water. I go for regular water though because it's cheaper. Just flat water. I try not to drink tap water anymore. Like I know I do with coffee, but like I try to avoid it as much as possible. I try to avoid it. My uncle started drinking and smoking at 6. That's for Balkans for you. Fucking hell. Sparkling water. I know that's become a meme lately, but I do like sparkling water. I've got a feeling Bob's going to do it. I think Bob's going to outlive him. Favorite fighter out of the moment, Artur Beterbiev, boxing fanatic. All time, I'd look at maybe James Toney. Yeah, I think your tap water's worse than ours. You're in America, right? Yeah. I think your tap water's worse than ours. But still, it's like what they put in that shit, who knows? Obviously, you've got the whole fluoride thing and what else, God knows what else they put in there. It's weird. I've never really been on health kicks in my life at all. I've never really done any, to be honest. When I boxed back in the day, I was still eating like shit, but I trained hard. But yeah, man, I just look around now and it's like, bro, I don't want to become like these people. I'm gonna try and clean stuff up a little bit. Yeah, I agree, Lee. I like sparkling water, especially when it's cold. And get if you wanna like jazz it up a little bit, just get a little slice of lemon, chuck that in there as well. Or even squeeze a bit of lemon in there. You got like a bootleg lemonade. It's perfectly nice. Yeah, Bob Arum smokes a lot of weed, right? He smokes a lot of weed, Bob Arum. That's something else I don't do anymore. Is weed. Like even when I smoked weed, I used to smoke it like once every 2 months maybe or whatever. But that's another thing I'm gonna just get rid of now. Fuck smoking weed again. That shit lowers your T in itself, man. Fuck that shit. Yeah, Don King is very sharp still. Yeah, Don King is sharp. Canadian tap water is good. Bro, the way they're acting out there, man, maybe not, bro. Maybe the fluoride fucking theory is real. Maybe it's real. Yeah, I agree. That's the only time I liked Max Kellerman was on The Gloves Are Off, yeah, or the Face Off show, yeah, on HBO. That's the only time I liked Max Kellerman because that was his element, really. That was his element. You know, instigating beefs between two fighters. That's what he's good at. Yeah, his last promotion was terrible. Yeah, no doubt. But like he himself still talks well. He's still sharp. He just doesn't have the he doesn't have a reputation that he once had. He doesn't have the connections anymore. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Max Kellerman was like awful. He was kind of propped up by Jim Lampley, Larry Merchant, Manny Stewart. Those were the days on HBO, man. I miss HBO. I can't lie. I miss HBO. They got trashed towards the end, but like, bro, Manny Stewart, Jim Lampley, Larry Merchant, amazing, good shit. I mean, again, I just hope it ends as quickly as possible. I hope it ends as quickly as possible. There's a generation of young men out there just being slaughtered. So I just hope it ends as quickly as possible, but like, I just can't see that happening anytime soon, unfortunately. I can't see it happening anytime soon. I mean, look at how long Russia stuck around in Chechnya, the first and second Chechen wars. The first war was between 1994 and 1996. Second war lasted from 1999 to 2009, I want to say. It lasted a long while. And obviously, dating back, Russia have always kind of they'll just throw people into the meat grinder, basically, and they'll prolong and just rely on pure attrition. It's not going to end anytime soon. It's not going to end anytime soon, in my opinion. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. What I don't like that I've seen online from both sides of the political spectrum is people treating it like it's some kind of game. Like it's I root for this side, you root for that side, like it's a sport game. That's bizarre to me. That's so bizarre to me. Like people are getting fucking slaughtered. Mad. Absolutely mad. And people are so cocksure either way that, right, it's crazy. It's crazy. I just hope it ends. I just hope it ends. I've tried not to like, I've seen a couple of videos out of that conflict and yeah, it's fucking horrible. It's fucking horrible. I'd go back to Albania, bro. I'd like to go to Albania at this rate. I'd be straight back to Albania. Question to everybody in the chat. What so-called boxing masterclass was actually a lot closer than the general consensus? Oh, shit. Mayweather-Pacquiao is the one that comes to mind. I've only ever seen that fight once at the time. I've never watched it back since because it was so disappointing. But I actually felt that fight was a lot closer than like people said it was. A lot closer. Oh, Marquez versus Bradley. That fight could have gone either way. I honestly felt Bradley won that fight quite clearly, but I've not seen it for a long ass time. I've not seen it for a long, long time. I don't, bro. I don't. I really don't. I think that fight was always going to let people down, considering the hype and the years it took to make that fight. It was never going to live up to expectations. And boxing suffered from that for a long time. That really damaged boxing. That really damaged boxing. Boxing's just got a habit of every big fight, something goes wrong. Either it's like a boring fight, it's a robbery, etc., etc. Boxing doesn't lend itself to growth. Hey Valuev's a really good shout. That fight was extra close. In fact, I think Jim Watt actually scored that fight to Valuev on commentary. It was a very close fight. Hopkins Calzaghe. All I remember that fight was just fucking trash. That fight was bad. I felt Calzaghe won based on memory, but I've not watched it for so long, and I'm not going to watch it again. It's one of those ones. That's a bad fight, man. I don't really know, bro. I know he said something about Coogan's daughter, but I've not watched I've not seen Ty and Booth for a long, long time. No, actually, that's a lie. I probably last checked him out maybe 6 weeks ago. And now and again, he's funny, but like, if you can't continue to watch his stuff because it's samey. Dubois, DMD. I'd say Dubois. Like Bruno had some genuine world class attributes. He had world class power and a world class jab. Bruno's jab was good. It was one dimensional, but it was a great fucking ramrod jab. He had a really good jab, really good power. Turned his punches over well, Frank Bruno. He was just like you say, he was stiff, he was up and down, straight up and down, but what he did well, he did well. Like Frank Bruno now would probably be top 5, 6, maybe top 7. Like he'd crush a guy like Dillian White, any version of Dillian White. He'd knock out any version of Dillian White, Frank Bruno. He's a decent fighter, Frank Bruno. Not he was never as bad as like people kind of make out. Like retrospectively, people make out like he was a bum, like an Audley Harrison type. He wasn't. He was a good fighter. Yeah, Calzaghe's hands were fucked by the end of his career. He barely sparred before that Hopkins fight. His hands were completely fucked. That's what always makes me laugh about people who say, like, Hopkins was 43 in that fight, Calzaghe was younger. Doesn't really tell the full story. Hopkins had more in the tank than Calzaghe did, despite being older. Calzaghe was further past his prime than Hopkins was his. Calzaghe was done at that point in time. He was done. Out of his weight class, hands are falling to bits, can't spar. Calzaghe was done at that point in time. He was done. Yeah. Floyd versus Miguel Cotto. I think I had that fight 8-4 Floyd, if memory serves. 8-4, maybe 7-5. It was a good fight. That was one of Floyd's best fights in his like Money Mayweather era. Yeah, Hopkins went on to win numerous world titles after Calzaghe. Yeah, exactly. He beat Pavlik after Calzaghe. Completely took apart Pavlik. Yeah, I mean, Calzaghe was further past his prime. Like, he was picking up so many injuries. Again, I know he was younger, but doesn't always work like that. Just because you're a bit younger doesn't mean you got more in the tank. But again, it's one of those fights I don't really remember. I don't go back and watch old fights anymore. Yeah, I think that's just a part of a human. That's just part of a human condition. I think. Pimp my sniper. Like to over glorify the past, yeah, and become nostalgic. I wouldn't say boxing's in a great place, but I mean, What's up, Quags? How you doing, bro? Yeah. Margarito would have been a really interesting fight for Floyd. That for me is the one. That is the most egregious one in my opinion. Aside from like not fighting a prime Pacquiao or a Pacquiao nearer his prime, that for me is the egregious one. Is Margarito should have taken that fight, in my opinion. I think that's the one for me. That's the one. Like, there's a couple names there that people argue whether he ducked or not, but for me, that was the one. That was the one I wish we got outside of like a prime Pacquiao. Castillo definitely did. He got jobbed. He got robbed. Paul Williams, yeah, Paul Williams is another one. But for me, again, I would have loved to have seen Margarito in there with Floyd. I don't think that's like people just assume like Floyd just UDs him no problem, but I don't know about that, man. Margarito was so big, so strong, punches in bunches. Mayweather's going to constantly be defending the second phase of attack. We saw how Floyd struggled with Maidana's unorthodox pressure. Margarito could do that as well with more size. Not as much power, but with more size. It'd have been a good fight. I've got big up Preston, by the way. I've got Lara again by knockout, rounds 7 to 9. Hang on. Bit of water. Trying to practice what I preach. But yeah, I've got Lara. I've got Lara rounds 7 to 9 against Lee Wood. Conlan Lopez, I think more or less is a 50-50 fight, but I'm favouring Lopez. Either late stoppage or close points. And Akole versus Smith, I'm going to say Akole wins that fight, probably on points. I always thought Amir Khan was all wrong for Floyd. He would have to bribe the judges to take that one, probably why he ducked. Low-key, I think Floyd could have knocked out Khan. I actually think Floyd could have knocked out Khan. Seriously. Just because of the timing. Nah, regular water. Water's one of those things. When you first start drinking it, again, it's super boring, but you get into it. Yeah, my thing with Conlan is can Conlan keep Lopez honest? I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. I'm really not convinced. Yeah, Khan had a weird style, man. Like Khan, imagine if Amir Khan had like a granite chin. Let's say Amir Khan had Margarito's chin. Bro, he'd be probably touching all-time great like levels. If Amir Khan had like an elite chin, like he wouldn't have lost many fights just because of his athletic ability and his speed. Even without being a great technical boxer, If he had a great chin, Amir Khan would have been a menace. He would have been a menace. Like, he was so physically talented, Amir Khan. No, Mickey Ward would have got fucked up. Nah. People call me a waterfall because I'm always chugging water. I call it super hydration. I haven't been ill or felt pain for years, and I honestly think it's due to always being hydrated. Yeah, I think they say that though. A lot of people in everyday life are always dehydrated. Yeah, his defense did suck, but his chin wasn't great. His chin wasn't great. But yeah, you're right. He took some serious shots against Maidana. That was a great fight, by the way. That was a great fight. Like, Khan was super entertaining back in the day. He was. He's one of my guilty pleasures as a boxing fan. I always liked watching Amir Khan fight regardless because I knew something crazy was going to happen. I usually start my day by chugging a 2 liters straight off the bat. Fair play, man. The only issue is pissing, right? You got to piss all the time. I'll report back to you, Pimp My Sniper, with the results. How I'm feeling. Not now, no, not now. A prime Brook, yeah, he would, but not now, no. Brook is there for a payday if he fights Conor Ben. He's there for a payday. Yeah, you learn to hold it and then go every few hours like a racehorse. I don't rate Ben all that highly in comparison to other welterweights like around his age, like Virgil Ortiz or Jaron Ennis. I rate those two guys much higher. I'm not saying Conor Ben's a bad fighter. He's got a lot better, but yeah, still a lot to improve on. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Pimp my sniper may know what I'm talking about, but as I've been drinking a lot more water, pissing when you've been drinking a lot of water feels different to pissing when you've been drinking normal shit. Whatever you usually drink, it feels a lot different. I can't explain it. It just feels cleaner, I guess I'd say. I don't know how to explain it. Conor Ben is pretty much a bum. I wouldn't say he's a bum in all seriousness. I wouldn't say he's a bum. Considering how he was a bum when he started, he was awful. But he has got a lot better since then. I know, listen, I know there's the drugs, cool. But I think most of these guys are on drugs. I didn't really care all that much. Well, I mean, I say that it's corny. It was corny. It was corny. I think Joshua let himself down, but it was what it was. It was what it was. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Andy Ruiz, man, since he's made that AJ money, he's gone off the rails. He's gone off the rails. He's even worse than he was, being on drugs and buying prostitutes. He's living the American dream. But yeah, Andy's done. Andy's done. Andy's done. Andy's done. Andy's done. And smoking weed for a guy, a guy like that, smoking weed's not good, man, because he's fat enough as it is. And when that dude gets the munchies, man, that guy is gonna go crazy. That guy's gonna go crazy. A constantly high Andy Ruiz, he'd be the size of a fucking house. Not good. Not good. Not good. I think he on the second fight, I think he was like 270 or 80 odd pounds. Hang on. Nah, man, he just seems off, man. He seems off, Preston. He just seems off right now. The inactivity, I don't know, man. He just seems off to me. Like his head's gone since the AJ payday. He looked pretty bad against Luis Ortiz. Like Luis Ortiz was outboxing that guy, by the way. If it wasn't for the knockdowns, Luis Ortiz would have won that fight. An old ass Luis Ortiz. An old ass Luis Ortiz. Andy Ruiz, though, has never really been that good. People have overrated him. Like the AJ win makes him look a lot better than he actually is. Like a prime Luis Ortiz would have schooled Andy Ruiz, to be honest. Whenever a prime Luis Ortiz was, but the Luis Ortiz that fought Wilder, even in the second fight, would have handily beat Andy Ruiz, handily. Indongo's more than likely the worst, Larry. I say Indongo's the worst. That's what I'm saying, bro. The munchies with Ruiz is gonna fuck him. Yeah, he got dropped by Areola as well, which isn't a good sign. You see, they're trying to recycle Areola for Frank Sanchez. Honestly, Frank Sanchez needs to leave PBC because he'll never get a big fight. He'll never get a big fight on PBC. He's gonna struggle anyway because of his style, but he needs to leave PBC. Nah, Scott Fitzgerald is done. No promoter's gonna touch him after that. It's not just the assault charge that he's in prison for. He's also facing other charges, from what I understand, including the R word. So he's gonna no promoter's gonna fucking touch him. Yeah, Sanchez is gonna whoop Areola. It's a good name for Sanchez in regards to, getting a known guy on your resume, getting some notoriety, but Areola is shot. It does nothing for his actual credibility. Who would win, Lenny Apero or Frank Sanchez? Frank Sanchez. I think Frank Sanchez wins. Yeah, where is Ted Cheeseman? I think what I heard was he's got businesses outside of boxing and he's doing well, so I don't think he needs boxing like that. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Halfway through the week, we're nearly there, nearly the weekend. In the UK, it's a bank holiday as well, by the way, so 3-day weekend for us. So looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. I'll probably do post-fight reviews for the weekend's fights, Lopez versus Conlan and Lara versus Wood. So look out for that. But yeah, guys, have a great week. Have a great weekend as well, and stay safe. Peace.